Well done, Coach. Coach David Disbro is the head coach at East Central High School. He played baseball and basketball at South Dearborn. He played baseball at Marion University, was the JV coach at East Central for 6 years, and led the Trojans to the sectional title in 2008. Please welcome Coach Dave Disbro. David? Thanks, sir.
I told Coach Lovell, and a lot of us call him Coach Lovell, but a lot of us probably don't know how good of a coach he was. When I was at Marion College from 86 to 91, I was watching this guy coach. You remember?
He cheated quite a few times at Marion, if I recall.
And was it called the Peach?
Peach Basket Classic.
The Peach Basket Classic. Now, this is a different time now. IUPUI, which is where Coach was the head coach when I first got to see him coach, Franklin College, Marion College, and University of Indianapolis. Yep. They would play a 2-day championship consolation. It really was. And it went to all of those different, it went to all the different schools. So that's where I first got to see Coach, because he didn't know who the hell I was. And I also have kind of a long history with Coach Lovell because one of my best friends in college, his father was a good friend of Coach Lovell's, and he is a Hall of Fame basketball coach, girls at Roncalli, by the name of Bob Kirkhoff. So we go way back. Coach Lovell did a basketball camp at East Central. It's been a long time ago. But we're doing the camp, and we got a lot of kids there, and he's out there coaching, and I'm out there helping. And he says, "Disbro, do you have a basket?" And I said, "What the hell are you talking about? Do I have a basket?" He said, "Do you have one that's not up there on the backboard?" You remember this? Yeah. I said, "Yes." He said, "Bring that out here." And I'm thinking, what in the world is he wanting a basket for? So I bring the basket out, and he gets our kids down on all fours, and he's got the basket out there, and he said, "Crawl through this." You remember that? So we all crawl through. And again, I'm thinking, what is he doing? Well, he's trying to show us how big that thing is and how easy that one ball is to go through. And then he also took 2 basketballs and stuck them both through and said, "This is how easy 2 balls will go through that one basket." I thought that was cool. So, Coach Lovell's story.
That's a mild one compared to what I thought you were going to
say. I thought that was kind of cool. You were looking for more?
Yeah, I was over
I calmed down when I got to Indianapolis.
He said, "I'm in St. Leon. I better watch out." Neat event. Thanks for inviting me, Ace. I appreciate it. These guys right here, I was telling Chris Reynolds. Chris still here, or did he say, "Disbro's here, I'm getting the heck out of here"? Chris Reynolds and I played together at Marion. I also played with his brother, Craig. He's a Wabash boy, but he couldn't hang. He said, "I got to get to Marion where things are much easier." We played baseball together, and I was telling him a little earlier tonight, I came in late, and I'm sitting in the corner because I went to an academic meet tonight. I had to make an appearance. I have 2 kids that are on the academic team, and he said to me, which was exactly what I was thinking also, how in the heck did that happen? So that's why I was a little late and snuck in. But I've got a 12-year-old daughter who is on the academic team. She's pretty sharp, but she also knows basketball. I think she's going to be a point guard someday. And she always tells me, she said, "Daddy, you have no friends. You have no friends." And just these guys are the best, and they're good friends, and I like competing against them. And you know, every 3 or 4 years, Aaron hates me, but we get along great. And these guys would do anything for me, and I'd do anything for them. So it's pretty neat to have friends like this, and I just wanted you guys all to know that. One more thing I want to tell you guys. I think I've got the best job in the world. I'm dressed up today. I teach 7th and 8th grade boys PE, and I got to teach history for forever and ever, and I love that. But I played ping pong today. It was awesome, and we're gonna learn about a new game called one bounce ping pong tomorrow. And my 7th and 8th grade boys can't wait to get to class, and they're running up the ramp. And I mean, I got a great job. I get to hang out with 15 to 18-year-old boys, and we get to go to practice, and I love going to practice. And you know, I like practice more than games. I have a great job. I love it. So I wanted to tell you that too. I'm going to tell you real quickly here about our staff at East Central. This is going to be my 16th year as a varsity basketball coach. And I'm kind of like you. I hope I get to come back next year, but you never know. In 16 years, we've had 3 varsity assistant basketball coaches at East Central. The one we have right now, he's a former player of ours at East Central. In 16 years, we've had 4 JV coaches. The one right now, Matt Stenger, he played for us at East Central. Our freshman coaches, we used to have 2 teams, we used to have 2 teams and 2 coaches. Now we only have 1 coach, but we've had 4 sets of coaches in 16 years. The guy that we have now, Danny Kleckner, he played for us at East Central. And Coach Blankenship was talking about Tyler earlier today. Tyler's been a JV coach and a varsity assistant and a freshman coach at Milan. He's going to school. He's going to get to do his student teaching at Lawrenceburg this year. He's another one of our varsity assistants that we've kind of made a position for him. He's helping with 5th and 6th, and he's helping with us at the varsity level. He's a former player of ours. We've got 4 assistant coaches at East Central at the high school level, and they've all played at East Central, and they've all played for actually me when I was the head coach. It's awesome. I mean, it's really, really neat to be able to have those guys come back and help you. They do a great job, and we're lucky to have them. We've got a great middle school staff. We got a guy in Mark Foster. We won't tell any Foster stories, but I think Gilman's already gone too, so we won't have to worry about that. Mark Foster was an assistant coach with the girls program for a while. He's been a freshman coach at East Central. Now he's our 8th grade A coach. He does a great job. Chris's little brother, Bobby, he's a heck of a coach. We tell him that all the time, so you don't even have to beep that out, Spence. He knows. He's our 8th grade B coach, varsity baseball coach at East Central. He does a great job. We've got Thomas Meyer, who's a Brookville guy. He's been a teacher at the middle school for about 3 years now. Coaching our 7th grade A, he actually moved up from 7th grade B because Matt Stenger moved to our JV coach. And then we've got a young guy in Grant Shearing who's been a teacher at East Central for 2 years. His mom's a guidance counselor at Summit River Middle School, and his dad was an AD at Harrison forever and ever. We're real lucky because all 4 of our middle school coaches, they're teachers. So that's pretty neat too, and that's a good thing. Our basketball team this year, our varsity basketball team this year, we've got 6 returners. We thought we were going to have 8 when the season ended last year. Last year was the end of my 15th year as a varsity basketball coach. Last year at East Central, we had 0 seniors. We had a freshman. We had a senior last year who got hurt. 6'6", 210 pounds. Started as a freshman some. Played as a sophomore, played as a junior. Was like a 14-10 guy as a junior. Had a patellar tendon injury last year as a senior and didn't get to play his senior year. We had 0 seniors. We have 6 guys coming back that we think are pretty good players. And I'm going to tell you who those guys are here. The thing that scares me a little bit about this is, you guys all know this, East Central, they can play some football too. And we've got a lot of football guys that are playing basketball, and we've got a lot of guys who haven't touched a basketball since the end of June. So on November the 10th, we're supposed to start. And on November the 7th, they're probably going to play Columbus East at East Central, which is going to be a tough win for them to get, but you never know. So they play football on November the 7th against Columbus East, and they're supposed to be at practice on November the 10th for their first day of practice. It's not going to happen. And also, these football guys I'm about to tell you about, they've been going since January. March, probably at the latest, when they came back from spring break. They've been hitting it 3 days a week, easy. So I'm a little nervous and worried about that, but they're great kids. They got a ton of experience last year. We had a lot of success with these guys, even losing Howie last year when he was a senior. Jack Grywe was our point guard last year. He's going to be our point guard again this year. He decided to play football this year. He's helped him. He didn't play as a junior. Maybe didn't even play as a sophomore, but good player. He's going to be a senior returner from last year. If you've seen East Central's football team play, they've got a kid that plays wide receiver named Hunter Kamer that's just a playmaker. And he's kind of the same way in basketball. He can score it. He's a really good defender, and he just flies around out there like his hair's on fire. Senior, good player, going to be back for us. Colton Hogue is the football team's tight end. Had a really nice year for us last year. Hit him in the hallway today, and it was like a rock. I mean, big, strong kid who can shoot it, inside and out guy. We're expecting big things out of him. We got a kid that played soccer this year that was a starter for us last year in York McCory, battling some sickness, and they just got done playing soccer about a week ago. We saw him for the first time on Tuesday. Probably a little bit thinner than I wanted and probably a little bit weaker than I wanted, but he's been playing soccer and battling injury. So we hope to get him back at full strength here very soon. Matt Schumann's a really good basketball player. Kid that can play inside and out that we think is going to be a big-time contributor for us this year. Brandon Koch was the starting quarterback last year on the football team, tore his ACL. He is recovering from that surgery, and he's been coming to open gyms. He got cleared right about the time football started. We think he's going to help us a lot. And then we got a kid in Jake Smith who was a sophomore starter last year, started every game, should have been playing JV. It was probably unfair to him, but we had to put him in that situation because of the situation we were in by losing Howie. So those are the 6 that played last year, including Brandon, who didn't play last year with the ACL injury. We had a senior-to-be that played a lot for us, good shooter, good golfer, not going to play this year, looking at probably getting a golf scholarship, and then we lost a player to South Dearborn. So we've got 6 of our 8 who played a lot last year coming back, and then we've got 1 kid who we think is going to help a lot with coming off the knee injury. We've got also a lot of young guys, but here's another thing that I'm talking about with the football. We had a kid, hamstring injury, last night at practice, sophomore, that we thought was going to be a big-time contributor to our basketball team. So we're just kind of holding our breath and keeping our fingers crossed and hoping everybody comes through healthy in the next 2 weeks. Schedule-wise, I think Uncle Stonefield's trying to get me fired, Spencer Powell. We play 9 straight on the road in the middle of the year. We start out with Jennings County, who's got some recruits coming in from Jeffersonville, maybe one from New Albany, maybe one from across the river. We got to play Richmond before Christmas. They've got a kid named Okafor that's probably a Division I player. We got to play Greensburg, Wellage, 1-loss JV team, back-to-back state champion. We've got to play Batesville before Christmas. I think y'all know that Hoeing kid's, he's pretty good. He's legit, and they got a lot of other good players. We'll play Columbus North and Columbus East, who are both in our sectional during the regular season. Columbus North's got a kid that will probably be on the All-Star team in Josh Spidell, and Columbus East's got a really good player in a kid named Evan Umphris. We are going to actually play in a second tournament this year over Christmas break, and that's kind of why we have 9 in a row. We have been lucky enough to play 22 games about the last 4 or 5 years. This year we will play 24 games, and I'll tell you how that works here in just a second. We're going to go to Shelbyville to play in a tournament, and we get to play Ron Colley, who has a Division I point guard. Yeah, good, and they'll be good. In that tournament also is Shelbyville and Westfield. And then the reason we've played 22 the last 4 to 6 years is because we play in the Bob Wettig tournament in Richmond. Now, when Chad Bolser first set that up, he was the basketball coach at Richmond for a while, then he was the AD. Now I think he's the president at Ivy Tech in Richmond. Good guy, good coach. He started it out where it was going to be 16 teams, and it was going to be 8 3A and 4A schools, and 8 1A and 2A schools. And the 1A and 2A schools were going to play the 3A and 4A schools to start off with. Well, now it has become all 3A and 4As, and it's a meat grinder. We're talking Bedford North Lawrence, Columbus North, Fort Wayne North, Richmond, Connorsville, Greenfield Central, Rock Creek Academy, who, you're right, has some big cats, and and Zionsville. That's the 10 that I know for sure right now. Zionsville's got Rick Schmidt's son, who's going to go to Valpo. That's the 10 of the 16 that I know already. There's not too many easy ones there. These guys have talked about our conference, Rushville, South Dearborn, Lawrenceburg, Franklin County, Connorsville. I mean, Batesville, Greensburg, we've already mentioned. It's going to be a meat grinder. So we're looking forward to it. Hope everybody gets healthy in the next 2 weeks. And this is awesome. It's great. I just wanted to kind of leave you with, I'll tell you what I think is the best thing about being a high school basketball coach. It's things like getting wedding invitations in the mail. And it's getting graduation invitations and writing letters of recommendation and having golf outings and having them all come back. And when they can't come, they still give you a donation. And my son, who's an 8th grader, selling wreaths and calling former players and then buying wreaths from him. I think those things are awesome. I love those things. And the worst thing about being a high school basketball coach, me personally, this year it will be November the 13th. And that will be our cut night. We bring them all in. If we're going to keep them, if we're going to cut them, if we're going to leave it up to them. I was cut as a freshman at South Dearborn in baseball, and I didn't want to go home and see Dad. And I felt terrible and felt like a failure, and I hate it. It's the worst thing in the world. I don't know if Coach Hornback, he put it up on the wall, and he said, "Here you go." I like that because, hell, I didn't want to have him tell me how bad I was. We bring them all in, and I try not to tell them how bad they are because they're not bad, but, you know, that we can't use you this year. And we've had to tell guys, we don't think you're going to get to play much. You go home and talk to Mom and Dad, and we've told kids you should be really excited because you are going to help us tremendously this year. But worst thing about being a high school basketball coach, for me, it will be November the 13th, our cut night. So thanks again. Appreciate it. Coach Lovell, thanks.